Welcome to another enlightening episode on ChitChatting with UCap. My name is Bilkis Amokide. I'm a customer service person for United Capital PLC, the Northern Region. For those of you who do not know, ChitChatting is brought to you by United Capital PLC. And United Capital is an investment banking group helping individuals, businesses, and countries across Africa to achieve both their long and short term goals by providing bespoke financial and investment services. So, if you want to know more about us and our product offerings, please log on to www.unitedcapitalplc.com, or you can go to our digital platform, which is www.investnow.ng. You download our application on Android and iOS. So you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at United Capital PLC or United Cap on Twitter. So I'll just wait for people to come in before we begin proper. Today is Friday, TGIF. I'm very sure people will be excited. The weekend is here.
I'm sure they are. So I guess while we wait, I guess I should just introduce myself, or should I wait till people come on
I
board?
want them to come on first before
All right. So I guess we'll just
we
wait
don't
then.
get to begin. Yeah.
So how excited are you about the topic, though? It's
Shopaholic.
yeah,
Okay, most of us are guilty of this actually.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
mean, at the time I used my salary to buy makeup.
right. So would you say this topic is more tilted towards women than men, or do you think that it's for both parties?
It's for both parties actually, but majority of the time with women, well, because we buy clothes,
Yeah.
makeup, jewelry. Guys will be buzzing on cars, wristwatches, and all those kind of stuff. It's majorly women, sha, but it's for both.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. And you ladies tend to take a lot of time when you go shopping. Is it because you're buying a lot of stuff, or why is that?
it's therapeutic.
It's therapeutic, yeah?
Yeah,
Right. I thought it was because you guys kept on buying a whole lot of stuff, but I guess it's more than that. It's more than
yeah,
that.
it makes us happy.
It
It's
makes
in,
people happy.
it
Yeah, I
depends on.
guess,
It's kind of like a bad habit.
right?
We're doing it wrongly, yeah. We're spending all your money and you're not saving about stuff.
Right. And I guess that's why we have this topic here today to really address this issues and point people in the right direction to kind of create that balance. It's not about to spend,
Yeah,
but yeah, you just gotta have that balance. So
yeah.
I'm ready to start on your mark whenever.
Okay. All right. So welcome everybody once again. For those that are just joining, this is Chit Chatting with UCap. So today the topic is a shopaholic's guide to investment. Right here we have Ore Ajayi is our senior colleague, the head of digital and retail sales in United Capital PLC. How are you today, Ore?
I'm doing great. Pretty excited about this one.
You're really excited. I can see that. Like the topic says, a shopaholic's guide to investing. So from what I know, a shopaholic is a person that is addicted to shopping. Yeah.
All right.
Some people, like I said earlier, see shopping as a fun thing, others call it therapeutic. So the things is either way, money is spent. Now we have to draw a line between spending too much money and then spending just the right amount, like within budget. So yeah, in this session, Aura is going to take us through how we're going to draw the line and then how to save or invest and then extra more. If you have questions, please drop them in the comment section. Do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and sorry, and LinkedIn too as United Capital PLC. So you just go to our social media platforms and follow us at United Capital PLC. And then on Twitter, we're at United Cap. Ore, please,
Right.
that question. Who is a shopaholic? Who do you consider a shopaholic?
I think you kind of defined it already. I think it's just anyone that is pretty much addicted to shopping. You know, when you become a compulsive buyer, that means you're moved by emotions. You're moved by different things when you buy. You're not buying exactly what you need or what you budgeted for. You're just buying your desires and wants at that particular point in time. So I think there are various types of shopaholics, and I think people tend to be shopaholics for different reasons. So I think we'll dig deeper into why and the types of people, why they do shop, with just their compulsion instead of budgeting and planning for it. So it's not bad to spend. So I think we all fall within the bracket of being a shopaholic, right? But I mean, some are a bit more than the others. So for me, it's personally like an addiction to repeatedly buy things you don't necessarily need and just go for wants and desires, as opposed to going with the budget for what it is you need.
Okay. So how much do you now like? Where do you make that difference? How much do you consider like? When do you consider this is the amount I have to save and this is the amount I have to invest, or this is the amount I have to spend?
I mean, there's no there's no way to really kind of create like a perfect percentage or this is what I save, this is what I spend. I think people are very unique in their own situations. A lot of the factors have to be, come into play, such as, your gender, your age, your marital status, your goals, your objectives, different things would lead people to do different things at different times. But what will make a clear-cut difference between, someone who is a shopaholic and someone who is not, is to understand who exactly are the types of shopaholics that do exist. So you see the types that are emotional. Some people are very emotional when it comes to their purchases. So you would see someone going through a rough time, and that's when they spend the most. I'm sure you probably be able to share like this. Most ladies, when they get really emotional, I see them buying more food stuff. They eat a lot. If they don't eat, they might want to buy shoes. Some people just spend to fill a void of something else. So those are the emotional types, right? There are some other types that are collectors. So their own objective is to ensure they like a certain type of thing. If it's a certain type of hair, then they want to wear that hair in different colors. If it's a shoe, they want that same shoe in different colors, right? They want to be able to say they have this particular shoe in different colors. So there are different people that fall into these different brackets for different reasons. But once you start falling into each of this to this type of segment or into this kind of bracket, then you should be able to identify that there's something wrong here. What is the reason for buying a shoe in the color of blue, red, green, black, orange? Why am I having 5 different colors of the same pair of shoes? Those are the core questions. Do I really need it? Am I in that space where I need this type of items? So if you're, for example, we're investment bankers, if I were to buy different pairs of trainers and they were in all different colors, we have a dress code, first of all. So even if we were to dress down, I wouldn't wear orange to the office. I mean, I'm sure my clients would take me very seriously if I did, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, you would have to, but you would see people in that same space because they like a shoe and buy different pairs and never get to wear it. So by the time you start falling into that category that you're buying outside your need, then that's a cause for concern to know that you're going outside what you really should do.
Okay, that's very true and very
Yeah.
interesting. Uh, okay, there was a time I was like an emotional shopaholic.
So I hit a nerve there, right?
I'm out of it now.
Good to know. Good to know.
So now, taking into consideration the risks attached to investing, would you encourage a savings culture or an investment culture?
I think in the past they used to be a bit different, but now with the events of new products and services by investment banks like ours and asset managers, they're becoming one and the same. And also, given the recent policies by the Central Bank of Nigeria, you kind of have to start thinking, what am I saving for? What really is savings, right? So for me, let's get a clear cut difference between savings and investments in the first place, right? Uh, Savings is you just putting aside money for any random occasion. It's really random. When you invest, is you putting aside your funds with a certain objective in mind. Objective in mind saying, I want to use this for this purpose. And before I use it for this purpose, I want to generate this level of additional income to it, right? So for me personally, investment is pretty much savings with a purpose or an objective in mind. So some people just save randomly and keep funds for apparently no reason. So that's what you have to be able to understand, that why am I saving? Why should I invest? They're pretty much the same thing. It's just when you put that objective in mind, then you'll be able to get more from your investments. And currently, savings accounts with the new policy is not yielding that much, right? So when you're getting returns of about 1%, you're not really encouraged to leave your money in your bank account. Rather, you would want to put it in an investment instrument that is equally liquid and, of course, provides the same level of security and safety, and to some certain extent, access to your funds, right? But also access to your funds, you need to be careful if you're a shopaholic, because the last thing you really want to have is access to your funds. However, there are different products that provide you this right now. So take, for example, a money market fund. I consider a money market fund the new savings account. This is where the world is going to tilt to, especially Nigerians. This is where they're going to tilt to, because on this type of account, you have the same, some good level of liquidity on it. And as well, you're getting significant returns. Take, for example, that of United Capital, where you're getting returns as high as about 4.5%, right? Annualized, as compared to your savings account where you're getting 1%. Not to say that your savings account should be eliminated. You cannot really exist without having a savings account. However, the purpose for having one would seem to change going forward. So savings accounts for me personally will be an account whereby you have to meet your day-to-day spend. Anything above your day-to-day spend and budget ideally would be in a money market investment or other alternative investments for longer term investments. However, for your immediate needs, of course, you will still put funds in your savings account. So it's just having that purpose and having that objective, and and planning well enough to know which one to do per unit time.
Okay. So you guys have heard. Please come and open an account with us. We'll take care of your funds. And then we render financial advice whenever you need. Okay, so how does one set realistic investment goals?
Realistic investment goals. So when we say realistic, so I think when we say realistic investment goals, we kind of put people in some sort of bracket. So people are going to be a bit limited to think what is realistic. I want people to be very ambitious in their savings and their investment targets. I believe anything can be achieved if they put their mind to it. So I think you only limit yourself to your certain expectations. So, but putting it into a realistic perspective means look at your prospective income. Where is the money coming from? You need to have a source of income in the first place for you to even be able to put aside some funds to invest for the future, right? So you kind of have to think, what are my prospective income revenue streams? am I a salary earner? If you're a salary earner, then you're kind of boxed in, and that's when you really should have a realistic target. If you're a salary earner, in the sense that you know how much income you're going to get over a period of time. So then you just have to set aside how much of it can I actually save, or rather, how much of it can I possibly invest, and to meet certain obligations in the future. As I said, investment has to have an objective in mind. So you're talking about obligations. Giving an example, someone might want to buy a car. You know how much that car is going to cost. You need to know how much you have to put aside over a period of time to be able to achieve it, to buy it. We don't have much of a credit society in Nigeria whereby you can just buy things according to your desire and then pay thereafter. You kind of really have to plan ahead to what it is you want to achieve. If it's your house rent, that's annual. That's coming in a year's time. If you're trying to pay a house rent of 500,000, you kind of definitely have to start putting aside a minimum of at least 35,000 every month to reach that objective, right? So what you would then get after the 12-month period will be at least your rent money and some additional interest. Or you can, backtrack that a bit and, save less than you should, and the interest will cover up for the differential that you need to pay. So that's you really planning and budgeting for the future to ensure that you meet the objectives you really set for yourself at the end of the day. So I think planning and budgeting are very key in that success story.
Okay. So planning and budgeting, and then that will be able to make you realize whether or not to set goals. Is that what you
Right,
said?
right. And also, I think when we're talking about goals as well, we kind of have to put them into, as I said, objectives, right? But also they're short-term objectives and they're also long-term objectives. So, when you're saving, it's a very, very, or investing, it's a very, very comprehensive project. You have to have that in mind. They're different, you're investing for different purposes. And that's why we see when people open accounts with us, some will want to open multiple money market accounts, some want to open multiple bond, fund accounts, because for each of those accounts, they have a different budget in mind. They have a different project in mind and different objectives. So long-term projects might be you want to buy a house 15 years down the line. Put inflation in mind. The house now currently costs 25 million. In the next future, in 15 years' time, it's going to cost you about 40 million. So you need to save this amount of money over a period of 15 years. So you start putting aside your 20,000, your 100,000, whatever it is you can put aside, you plan for that, right? So that's a long-term objective. Then, of course, you might choose a different vehicle to get you there. So you kind of have to match your objective with the right investment. So at United Capital, we do have uh, different forms of investment that will meet different kind of needs. So if you were going long term, we have equities trading where you could buy into stocks, right? Or you could buy into a bond fund, right? You could do different forms of investment that will meet that long term objective. But if you're looking for something more near term that meets liquidity requirements, then you do your money market and the likes to meet that objective as well. So you kind of really have to plan for different phases of your life. And I always say this in time I get the opportunity to, to present to people to ensure that I say this is that, there's no magic money coming anywhere in the future. Everyone always, especially if you're a salary earner, you just, expect that somewhere down the line, 140 million will just hit your account, 120 million. So you're just very chilled.
Yeah.
There's no magic money coming. The money you're going to have in the future for spend is what you've built up over a long period of time. And the objective is really to start now. The best time was really yesterday, but you kind of really should start now to start building up towards the future so that 15 years down the line, you're not going to be asking yourself questions, wow, what did I do with my funds? I should have a house now. You're not going to have a house in 15 years' time if you don't start saving now. That's really, there's no magic to it.
Start saving now. There's no
Yeah.
magic to it. Okay. All right, that's good. So how essential is diversification when it comes to compulsive shopping habits? And then you know that we have to, like, what will you recommend to a person that you said has to save, invest? In our case here, you have to invest, and then this person has compulsive shopping habits. Yeah. So how would you recommend that? You mentioned money market is short term.
Right.
So bond fund and which one?
I mean, so it's not really even about the product you're going to invest. If you're a shopaholic, your first problem is you spend before you actually save. So you kind of have to reverse the order, which is you need to invest your funds where you can access it. Then you can now spend the rest. So for you to be able to achieve
And
that,
before saving, before
yeah,
sorry, before doing anything else.
yes. So you have to, you need to pay yourself first, which is you need to invest first. How you tend to achieve this working with a company like United Capital is to deduct the source. So for most of our products and services, we do have a feature that allows you to deduct your funds at source. So if you're a salary earner, you get paid on the 30th or the 24th or the 25th, you can set a recurring debit to say, hey, this is my objective. I want to save 30,000 every month over this period of time, and you put that instruction on the Invest Now platform, automatically you're debited every single payday. So you know that the balance is to flex, right? The balance is to flex, but you've already done, your duty. And this is something that I personally practice. So I get paid, I tuck it aside, the rest, we spend it anyhow we want, right? But the most important thing is we must have tucked away something for the future. That's just very important. So once you want to do that, you can decide for different objectives, as we mentioned earlier. If it's for your short-term liquidity, you could put a short-term, you could put some a recurring debit on that, right? Maybe something a bit less. If it's your long-term objective in the bond fund as well, you put some certain amount. If it's for equities trading as well, you put some certain amount. So you could spread this across the various investment instruments, which speaks to what you said earlier about diversification as well. So you need to be very diverse in your approach. Match your objective and perspective with the right product. It's very essential. We can't overemphasize that. We can't overemphasize that. So you really just need to match those, and then you'll be able to derive that diversification that you're looking for at the end of the day.
Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, we have our application Invest Now. Just go to our website www.investnow.ng. That way you can, like you said, set recurring. You can set like a recurring fund. Like you can set funding. You can fund your accounts for you
Yeah.
in recurring manner. So
Yeah.
when you have the application, you download it on iOS or Android. Um, we can we can just you just set a payment order where a certain amount is deducted from your account every month. Maybe when your salary comes in or whatever, we'll deduct the amount and use it to invest in whatever platform. You can do it weekly, you can do it daily, you can do it monthly, depending on your choice of investment. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Please post your question in the comments section so that we can ask Ore. Any questions you have, please just forward it to us so that we can ask Ore. Um, so on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, we're at United Capital PLC. On Twitter, we're at United Cap. Please note that all our accounts are verified. Take that, don't be scammed. Just make sure that the pages you're following are verified. So our investment has gone digital. You can now access and manage your investment portfolio online like we do. For a person with a compulsive shopping habit, would you advise self-service, or you advise the person to have like a financial manager?
I mean, I think it goes both ways. Self-service makes things very easy, accessible, and that's what we're trying to achieve with our digital platform investment to ensure that investment, is brought to everyone's doorstep, and it's very accessible and very easy. So you don't have to, journey a long commute to in traffic before you speak or meet with someone, right? And we understand the peculiarities of the times we're in, given the pandemic, right? So you being able to access your accounts real time online is very essential. However, for that expert opinion and advice to guide you, you should be speaking with people like us. You need to have that information. This market is driven solely at the back of information. So if you have the right information, you're sure to make the right investment decision and choices at the end of the day. So speaking with us is very essential. However, having this platform and access to this information real time online also will guide you with that process. If you're a shopaholic, this is good for you in the sense that you would see this as an e-commerce platform. So as opposed to you buying that next Gucci bag, right? This is what you would be purchasing. You'll be purchasing one of our products, which is basic. I mean, made the platform very, very simple. It really looks like an e-commerce platform where you can just pick stuff off the shelf and you're good to go. And this would definitely start paying you back in returns. So for shopaholics, so if you're not even a shopaholic, this is where you should be. If you're even a shopaholic for investment, then you're good. It's not bad to be a shopaholic for some good reasons. So one of them being if you're pointing towards the direction of investments, then be a shopaholic. But the other thing I would say to that is don't talk away all your money. Don't invest it. You kind of have to leave a little bit to spend. You really need to leave a little bit. I mean, with the pandemic going on, we've seen a lot of things that have gone on during this time. It just needs you to reflect to say that you kind of really need to enjoy the simple things in life. So the way you're setting aside some funds to invest for the future, right? You also need to put aside some funds to really leave a little bit. You don't know what time frame you have. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. It's very important that, they say problem will finish. You need to chop life. Sorry to speak in vernacular language, but it's the new trend that we see going on social media. So you really need to put aside some funds for your personal pleasures and desires. If it's shopping, if it's traveling, if it's eating that nice meal, whatever it is, just make sure you have a budget for it. I personally have a flex budget every month. Usually it's a Friday like this, right? I have some money tucked aside that I must flex. If it's eating something fancy and nice, if it's just buying something home for the family, something should be done because those little things go a long way in memories. So I think that's also very important to share. And we promote that United Capital. We promote that life of flexing and leisure while creating a balance with your investments.
Yes. Okay, so for those of you that have read Smart Money Woman, I'm not making any advertisement by Arese. So there's a shopaholic there. Her name is Duri. Like she was in a senior manager in our organization. Do you know the book? Or am
I
I correct?
haven't, I
Oh,
haven't read it, to be honest.
so so Zuri used to earn 600,000 in a month. She lives in Lekki. She has a very nice car, and baby girl life. You get
Yeah.
the thing. Tokema Kiwa kind of standard star.
Right.
Yes. She used to end up getting broke, like, and that was a really huge problem for her. So I believe like Smart Money Woman for women can read it too. It's a good book for you to just look out for if you have the chance. I think they have it online or whatever. It doesn't. Who doesn't want to live a baby girl life? We understand that. I
Everyone.
mean, I mean, okay. So, um, what's the use of being a baby girl if you don't have money in your account? That's the question you have to answer.
Right, right, right,
Yeah.
right, right.
So we
And
have
and before you get those luxury items, ensure that you're buying that off a return, not off your capital, your principal. You can use those proceeds to buy those items, but if you erode your capital and your principal, then you have nothing for the future. But if you use your proceeds from interest and some of those things for some of those
flex.
spendings, then yeah, sure.
All right. So we have a question from Motunde Odulami on YouTube. She says, I'm definitely a shopaholic and would love to learn to invest, but it seems complicated, especially stocks. Isn't it somewhat risky? What do you suggest for a first time investor?
So for a first-time investor, I understand your concern when you speak about the stock market. It could be very tricky at times. However, we make it very simple. So I think the challenges with the stock market in the first place that we experienced over the years was transparency and access. So you'd see back in the day, people would have to engage their broker over a phone call to get that insight before they have to send a manual, mandates to the advisor. He would have to draft a slip, then go and give a trader to key it in. Then they are all waiting and keeping their fingers crossed whether you get it or you don't get it. right? Then they come back at the end, close of business with the feedback on if you're successful, if your bid was successful or not. There's that long process, right? All that's been eliminated now. So with Invest Now, first thing, you have access to the market. So we're one of the very few digital platforms that even provide real-time information and recommendations on what stocks to buy and what not to buy per unit time. So all that has been eliminated. You place in your bid. You get your feedback within minutes if your bid is successful, if your mandate is filled or not. So all that is in real time. You have access to what is going on in the market. So all that's been eradicated. So it's a bit easier, right? The only thing you might fall back on a little bit is to speak with people like us to get more background information as regards to the research material we do provide you if you want, more of a background to the story as to, guide you into your purchase or your sale. Right, that would take that away from you. But however, as a first timer into investment, I think you should really start with something that's very liquid, something that's very similar and familiar like to what you currently do, which is your bank account, your savings account. Start off with a money market account. It's very simple. You have your funds in there and you're getting returns on a daily basis, right? You're seeing how much interest you're getting every single day. This would always encourage you to save more. So that's why, and that's a trend I've seen personally by providing people with platforms like this. People never knew what they could earn and what they could get from investments. Now that they see on a daily basis, I'm getting 1,000 naira. Are you joking? Like people get very excited. So the next target is how do I make that 1,000 I'm getting every day to 2,000 naira? That means I need to have more of a principal. Then they put aside more. Then they keep on going. The next day I start seeing clients start saving money every day. I start seeing them doing every week, every month. So it really encourages you to do more than what you've been doing prior because you're getting something in return. So it's very simple. A money market will be my recommendation. The minimum entry is 10,000 naira, after which you can do investment in multiples of 5,000 naira, right? You could do it every day. You could do it every week, depending on your revenue stream, as I mentioned earlier. It's very flexible. And you then begin to see the returns you're getting on a daily basis, and it's accessible. After a minimum period of 30 days to which you've done your investment, you can have access to your funds without any penal fees. So it's as good as a savings account, really, for me at the end of the day, and it's 4.5% as of now. So it's a no-brainer investment. It's something you should start now. So you can simply just go to investnow.ng and sign up, and I'm sure my team will be able to pull you through that investment once you come on board.
Yeah, you can see that behind me, the Invest Now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a question from Essie Esai. She's saying, is this a good time to invest? What are the investment rates like, the interest rates like, and especially due to the pandemic? What would you advise? What would you advise? Is this a
Every
good
time
time to invest?
Every
And
time is a good time to invest. It just depends on what you're investing in. Different things are different products or different investment instruments are more are more for different periods. So you can see the stock market. The best time to buy into the stock market is when prices are low, and prices are low now, right? So that's a perfect time to invest, right? However, for things like our money market and our bond fund, it's always a perfect time to invest because it's not subjected to market volatilities, right? So if you're someone that is looking to get returns and to preserve your capital, it's every time is a good time to invest. And putting in such investment vehicles such as the money market or the bond fund, then you're good to go. So you can always invest in those instruments regardless of a pandemic or a downturn or whatever the situation is. It would always be a good time for you to invest in that segment. However, if you're looking to invest in the stock market, you then it comes a bit tricky. You have to look, is this, you look at the prices of the various stocks you're looking to invest. Is it their lows? Is it their high? And of course, what is the prospect for such organizations? So if you're in a pandemic, which companies are doing well within the pandemic? You have to go with the real economic indications and see what's really going on. A company like MTN is doing well because, I mean, we're having this conversation over using telecommunication data, right? So you expect such companies to perform very well, right? So that's a company. People are still eating food. So if you're looking at agricultural stocks, some of these companies will perform well as well. And the banks are the outliers. They've always performed very well, even in pandemics, whatever situation, they always find a way to survive. So, investing in banks were also a good way to go. So, for me personally, it is a good time. Every time is a good time to invest. You just need to have the right guidance to what product per unit time.
Okay. All right. So another question from Favor Okorie from YouTube. I have a friend who feels there's no need to save or invest because you might get stranded and not have access to your funds. He has talked about it before. She's also a shopaholic. How do I win her over to start investing?
Uh you kind of really have to push. The thing is, it's always very difficult to get people to do things they don't understand, right? But that's the initial step. But those kind of people are the best people at the end of the day. Those are my favorite customers. The very difficult one because they're very tough to get through in the first place. But once you do, the game changes. They'll be the ones chasing you like, oh, I'm enjoying this so much. I want to do more. I want to do more. Let's talk. You didn't call me. Let's talk. So that's the conversation that comes thereafter. So the first step is to get the person to experience it. Let the person know that this costs them nothing. So opening an account with us, you can start with a zero balance. So you could start off with a money market or a bond fund to begin with. Open your account, then you could try out probably the minimum entry and see how it really works and see the kind of returns you do get, from this investment over a period of time. So if you start with a money market of 10,000 and see the fact that you're actually getting money, you have access, you can test the system. Thereafter, you can put in some real sums of money and then see the real benefits you would get. The thing is, at the end of the day, is what your friend really wants is value. She derives value from whatever she buys right now, and if she buys into this as well and gets that value that she's looking for, she would definitely start to invest. So I think it's just really to get her to open the account in the first place. Start with the minimum at least, then she'll start getting the dividends of investment. Then as regards having your money lost or trapped, that's just a myth that limits people from a whole lot of progress. As I said earlier, different products and services, different terms and conditions. With the money market investment in the first place, that's just very liquid. So accessing your funds is a no-brainer. It's a regulated product. So I think that's another thing I should touch on first. These products and services and United Capital were a regulated entity by the Securities and Exchange Commission, right? Which is our own apex body for regulation for investments, right? And our products as well are regulated by the same institution, right? And there's a framework to ensure the protection of investors' funds, and that's why I say this is equally as safe and liquid as when you're doing your savings account, right? So there's a framework that's been put in place by the institutions to ensure that you don't lose your funds. There is a custodian, there's a trustee. So, funds don't even reside with fund managers like us. We just manage it on your behalf. There's a structure to ensure that you are protected. So you're not going to lose your money, right? And you just need to understand the terms and conditions for the product or the investment you're investing in. If they say it's 30 days, they know, 30 days should be your guiding, principle. If it's 90 days, 90 days should be your guiding principle. However, even within those frameworks, you can still access your funds, probably just with a little bit of a penal charge on those products and services.
Okay. Taking notes. People should take notes too. It's very important. This is talking about your future here. Okay, so there's a question from Amaka. Iro Egu. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that well. As a self-proclaimed shopaholic, I think I need an investment that replicates a fixed deposit. We have that, so I don't have the access to spend it. Are there any investments like this? Yes,
Yeah,
there are.
yeah, we do have products that provide a term structure. So that means you want to invest your funds for a period of time. If it's 3 months, if it's 6 months, if it's a year, till you possibly need it. We do have those structures and frameworks in certain products and services. A money market is structured like a 30-day. Bond fund is structured with a 3 month period. We all have other forms of investments that are a bit longer that you could venture into. There are treasury bills as well that we can help you purchase as well, that have all these various terms to it. So it's really just about you engaging us and letting us know what is your frame, or what's your expected duration of investment like? What do you want to, how long do you want to keep your funds for? Is it 6 months? Is it a year? Is it 3 months? And how much risk are you ready to take? If you don't want any risk, we do have products that can lock up your funds for that period as well.
Yes. Okay, so nobody should be scared of investing, like he said. Your money is safe. You get it when you want, and we're just trying to help you live a better life. There's a question from Ola Adebiyi. Can you invest on behalf of someone else?
Can you invest on behalf of someone else? I'm not so clear on what you mean by that. But if you mean, can you give someone an investment? Yes, you can. Right? We do have that on Invest Now, where you can gift third party an investment for special occasions. So this is a way to get them to start investing. So like the lady that mentioned, her friend that's a shopaholic and really wanted to get her into the cultural investing, you can gift her an investment, right? You could go on our investment platform and gift an investment to third party of yours. You'll fill out some forms and fill out the credentials of the person, and we'll do the KYC follow up. Thereafter, the person can start getting the benefits of the investment. So yes, you can give someone an investment, but if it's you holding investment on behalf of a third party, that's a different conversation on its own. Then we kind of really need to understand what you mean by that. However, you can gift anyone, your kid, your wife, family members, anyone, an investment with us.
Okay, that's very good. So you can do not forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook at United Capital PLC, and on Twitter we're at United Cap. Please send in your questions. Thank you for sharing these tips, Ore. You have been very enlightening. I'm
Thank
learning, even me
you.
that I'm working. I'm very extra. Yeah.
Thank
Okay, so
you.
so like I said, for ladies, even men, financial literacy is very important. We know you only live once. This life is short. You don't know where you're going to go and everything. But at least when you need to save, you just need to um, cultivate that habit of trying to invest. Um, there's a question from Mimi Lawal. Where can we access interest rates? So if you visit our website www.unitedcapitalplc.com, you'll be able to get further answers to investment questions.
Right. As
www.
well as Invest Now, you'll be able to get
Yeah,
all that. Yeah.
now.ng. Yes. So we have our daily rates and everything there. If you have any questions you have as regards what kind of investment you want to make is on our platform. And then for further clarifications, you can chat us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We'll always be here for you. Um, okay. We should just learn how to prioritize, basically. Prioritize. Um, we want to spend, we want to make money. So for somebody that is earning 100,000 every month, I mean, you can take at least, okay, just do like a suggestion actually 50, 30, 20. 50% can go into your um, day-to-day life, transportation, food, and everything. 30 can go into savings. Or what do you think? Is that okay?
I mean, there's no perfect formula, but for beginners, I think the most important thing is um, take 10% out of your income on a monthly basis. That's like the minimum. Take at least 10% out and store it away in investments before you actually start spending. Take at least 10. But if you're really, you have a purpose in mind, you're really trying to be aggressive, I personally feel 30% is the most ideal, right? But I mean, circumstances may really differ. It might be a tough time. It might, different. There's the boom, and all that. So it depends on what period or what season you are as an individual. But for me, 10% should be your minimum. Or if you're really being serious about driving this objective, then you should really be aspiring to do 30%, which is my personal goal.
Yeah, so investing is not just for big men, all them Dangote them, because that's what people will start saying now. All 10
Right.
people will say, I cannot save,
Yeah.
or I cannot invest. You can invest. I mean, we have a product for as minimum as for as low as 10,000 naira. I
Yeah.
think you should be able to come up with that in a month now. So just try to cultivate that habit. There's a question from SL Sai again. For first time investors, I think we need a session to break down investment terminologies. It can be a little confusing. But
Right. Right. So we did have one about, I think, was that last week or 2 weeks ago? So I think you should stay tuned to our handle. We do investment clinics. I think we do that every 2 weeks where we talk about various parts of the market. We go a bit more in depth into terminologies about various products, rates, and different things that would make you yourself an expert at the end of the day. So we do that from time to time. So I'll just stay tuned to the handle. When we're having the next one, we'll definitely share with the general public. So that if you're interested, it's usually on Saturdays. So if you have the time one of these weekends, you just tune in for about an hour, and I guess we'll be able to shed more light on the various terminologies you're looking to get clarification on.
okay, can they find that on Instagram?
Yeah, we'll share the next session we're having via Instagram, LinkedIn, and other social media platforms as well.
Okay, okay. So Essie, I hope that answers your
Then
question.
if you become an existing client as well, we do share that information. So I think the first step is just log on to Invest Now, open and the simplest account you can open is the money market that we spoke of earlier. Open the account. If you don't have the funds now, it's fine. Get the account open. You would be getting more information from us. But if you want to start funding, you can as well do that as well online to get a bit of look and feel and experience so that towards the next session, you'll be able to have more questions from your experience that you might need clarity on.
Okay, thank you for shedding light on that. So some people they have trust issues. They might not want to go through the website or our other platforms. You can walk into any of our offices. We're in different regions in the country. We're in Lagos, we're in Abuja, we're in the south, we're in the west. So you can just walk in and then you get a relationship manager to attend to you. I think that will put your mind at
Right,
at
right,
rest.
right,
But
right.
okay, so
No, that's about it. And you could send us a mail as well. I think that's info at unitedcapitalplc group.com. You can send me an email if you have any specific requests as well. That's ored.ajayi@unitedcapitalplcgroup.com. Then you could just reach out to us on all the various other platforms we have, and we'll definitely get back to you.
yeah, so there's a question from Mimi again. Can Ore shed more light on diversification? How does it work exactly?
So diversification is just it's something we all do in our day-to-day life. We don't want to put all our eggs in one basket, so we will do a bit of this and a bit of that to ensure that given whatever circumstance, we're okay, right? So that's what really diversification is. So when you're making investment as well, you don't want to put all your investment in one single instrument. You want to put it in different things that meet different objectives because we're very diverse people, right? So we have different objectives at different times. So we want to ensure that you have things in place for all those various opportunities or those events that may come up. So that's what diversification offers you. So I'll give you a very practical example so you have a bit of an idea is to always, for example, if you're someone that might have dollar obligations, the smartest thing you could always do per unit time is to have dollar denominated investment as well. So that, in case there is a devaluation of the Naira, you can still meet the obligations. If you were to go to school, if you were to pay your kids' school fees, if you were just going to go on holiday, you already have that USD stored away in an investment. Take, for example, our Eurobond fund, which requires just a minimum entry of $1,000. You could put that away into such an investment and benefit from the yield year to date of about 7%, right? And at the same time, when there's a devaluation, your value goes up at the end of the day. So it's very important that you have both dollar and naira denominated investments if you're someone in that situation. But even if you're not, it's always best to hedge. Then the other thing you also need to do is, while you're doing money market investment for your short-term liquidity and low risk investment, there are opportunities in the stock market. You don't want to lose out on that as well. So you put some of your long-term funds into that space as well to ensure that, given after a period of time, you'll be able to benefit significant returns in that space as well. So it's just you having a mixed portfolio of investment, just the same way I'm showing your personal life. You do different things to ensure that you're not stuck by unit time.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. You made things quite easy for us. Okay. Um. All right. So don't forget to like and subscribe, like I've been saying. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at United Capital PLC, and on Twitter at United Cap. Thank you, Ora, for sharing all these tips. It was very beautiful talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so the few things I could bring out from this session. Let me bring out my journal. So, for those of you that are having difficulties in figuring out where to invest in this pandemic period, we're advised to invest in agricultural stocks, food, especially. I mean, nobody can do without food. Telecommunications. I mean, you're reaching us through um, you using your telecommunication data. You can invest in banks; they never go out. Um, if you're trying to get somebody to key into investing, just let the person gain a little bit of experience. The person will pick up from there. You can just open the account with zero balance, like he said, and then with time you can start with 10,000 naira.
And if you care for them well enough, then give them the investments. So you could do that as well.
Give them the investment on our website www.investnow.ng. So you're not going to lose your money. Don't be scared. You're not going to lose your money. We are regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. So your money is safe with us. You can download our applications on iOS and Android. You can reach us on our social media, like I said before. Be careful, beware of scammers out there. Make sure the accounts you are following and you're reaching out to are verified. United Capital PLC is verified on all platforms. Please take note of that. And we won't double your money. All those people that will come to you now and say, pay so amount, and then in 45 minutes you get so amount. That is not true. We are not those kind of people.
And also, just to add, do not make any payments into a personal account. We would not provide you a personal account for you to fund your investment. So also be on the lookout for that. So when you're about to make an investment, you have to make sure you're making payments into a corporate or regulated type of account, not in an individual's name.
Okay, yes, thank you. All right, please, how can we reach you when we want to and have any questions?
So I'll just share my email address again. That's Ore, that's ore.ajayi, AJAYI at unitedcapitalplcgroup.com. Feel free to send me a mail at any point in time, and I would respond as soon as I can. So I look forward to receiving your mails.
He's going to respond to any of the questions and put you at ease. Please reach out to him. Okay, thank you for tuning in. I hope you learned a lot from this session. Reach out to us. Make sure you reach out to us to learn about the product. Just go to our website, www.unitedcapitalplc.com, www.investnow.ng. All our social media platforms are there. I think you'll find it in the description box below so that you can just click from there and reach out to us. Thank you very much. I think we have almost come to an end of the session. All right. Do you have any other extra thing to say?
So I just want to wish people happy shopping. It's a Friday, so enjoy yourself. As I always say, just make sure it's always within your budget. Don't go out without having a budget, and most importantly, ensure that if you're the kind of shopaholic, if you're a shopaholic, ensure that what you have available in your account, is what you want to spend. The rest should be in your investment account. So I think that will be a guide for you this Friday. If typically your budget is to spend 10,000 on flexing or 20,000, let that be the balance available. The rest you can transfer into your investment account today. Do that right away before you spend it. So enjoy your Friday. Thank you for having
Okay.
me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So in these trying periods, we have to be careful with whatever we're doing. Stay safe. Make sure to wash your hands. Use your sanitizer when you cannot. Use your face masks, please. This pandemic is real. So from us at United Capital, we say have a very, very lovely weekend. See you the next session. That's next week. Bye.